Hey, what's going on, internet? Moving on to another fairly linear deck. This is the green-white Renown deck, building around their gold card, which is I don't know the name of that. All I know is it costs green, white, and a 1, and it has vigilance. It's 1/3 and Renown 2. No, it's 2/3 Renown 2. The Citadel Castellan. So yeah, 2/3 vigilance Renown 2. So to build around a Renown card, we'll just throw all the Renown shit in there. So quickly, we'll go through 2 Relic Seeker, 3 Consul's Lieutenant, 4 Topan Freeblade, 3 Undercity Troll, 2 Timberland Guide, 2 Veteran Sidearm, 4 Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, 3 Valeron Wardens, 3 Citadel Castellan, 4 Wildsize, 2 Kytheon's Irregulars, 2 Pharika's Disciple, and 2 Patron of the Valiant. We're playing 24 land, but it's kind of 23 because we're running 2 Evolving Wilds, so you kind of count those as half a land apiece. So we got 11 plains, 8 forests, 2 Sunpetal Grove, 1 Rogue's Passage, and 2 Evolving Wilds. So really just 2 tap lands here to help shrink our land count to 23. I mean, there's our curve, 16, 14, 4, 2. So basically you're playing the majority of the Renown guys. So let's go over Relic Seeker, 2/2 for 2, Renown 1. If it hits, when it becomes Renown, so when it hits, it'll get an equipment. We're actually going to run the Veteran Sidearm here, because it only costs 2, because this just puts it in your hand. It doesn't put it on the battlefield, which kind of sucks. But that would be kind of way powerful for, later sets. So the Veteran Sidearm, it only costs 2 and 1 to, give a creature +1/+1, but that's usually enough with these Renown guys. And even if you naturally draw it, like, you can go 2-drop, and then on 3 mana, play and equip. I'll go over all the other equipment we could get. I mean, the Sigil of Valor, like, if you don't have another creature on the field, this actually does nothing, because it's each other creature you control. So I don't really like that, even though, it's 2 and 1. I mean, there are situations where it can just be bad, where, Veteran Sidearm, you're always going to get the +1/+1. This, you might not get anything. The Throwing Knife, it's the equip cost of 2. If this was a equip cost of 1, then I would be all for it. But 2 and 2, and like that effect, I mean, it's all right. But I think just like I said, we go 2-drop and then make a 3/3. If we naturally draw this, if we have no other relevant plays, is good. And then we only run 2. We don't run all 4. I mean, we have 2 Relic Seekers, 2 Sidearms, so it's kind of like having all 4. And then Strider Harness, I mean, 3 and 1. I'm just not a fan of that card. I mean, you take a whole turn off to get it on the field. Yeah, that's cool. And then, you pay 1 to give a dude haste. I mean, it also gets +1/+1. I mean, I'll have to revisit that, but I'm more of a fan of the Sidearm because usually what you want to do, you go 2-drop, which we have 5, 9, 12 of, Renown 2-drop. I don't really think a Timberland guy is a 2-drop. Like, in very rare cases, do you want to play a guide and put the counter on himself? So you got, 13 2-drops. Usually I want to go 2-drop into play 3rd land, threaten Wildsize, just swing in. They block, and then you can Wildsize them out. Because usually, they're going to tap out for a creature. And if they don't, then, they have a removal spell, whatever. So you swing, they don't have a removal spell, the guy gets around, and you can play another guy. Otherwise, they have a dude in the way, you can threaten Wildsize, and then, Renown your guy. Because it gives your dude trample. So in most cases, your guy is going to get through. Cases where they won't, it usually involves the It's Your Boy Merclurker, because it has a 4 toughness. It's usually a 2/4 in decks that play it. So the Wildsize will only make our guys 4/4. I mean, we'll kill it with the Wildsize, but we won't Renown our guy, afterwards. But, that's still a fair trade. So, and then the 3-drops, we have Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, just a vanilla 3/2, Renown 1, turns to a 4/3. I actually prefer him over the 1/3 Renown Flyer, which we, the fuck is that? Oh, artifact. Which we didn't play in the Flyers deck either. I mean, it's just slow. I mean, I just like, the beef. Making a 4/3, you know, is much better than, you know, having 1 power hit in the air and then 2 at a time. I mean, it could be wrong. If you find him underwhelming, I actually found, you know, her riding Cecil the Lion before he was killed to be a little bit better than this bird. But I can see, you know, a straight 1-for-1 swap for these guys if you want to go that route. The Valeron Wardens, whenever a creature you control becomes renowned, you draw a card. So, you know, aside from the Wildsize replacing itself if it resolves, there's our other source of card advantage. And, you know, she has Renown too, so she actually becomes a 3/5 when she hits, which is not a joke at all. And, you know, sometimes, you know, if they tap out for something stupid, you go 2-drop into Valeron Wardens, and then, you know, Guy Renowns, draw a card. You know, Relic Seeker into Valeron Wardens. 2-drop, draw a card, Relic Seeker triggers, get your equipment out, and then you draw a card, or however it works. And then that's the card we're building around Castellan. Man, there are fucking lions everywhere up in this bitch. I did not know that. So 2/3 Vigilance becomes a 4/5 Vigilance when it hits. So pretty big deal. Kytheon's Irregulars, you know, pretty bomb. It has Renown too. Sometimes, you know, it's easy to forget that because you usually just focus on the tap target creature ability. The 4/3 becomes a 5/4. You're wondering why I only have 2 Timberland guys? It used to be all 4. But I wanted to give Pharika's Disciple a shot. I mean, it has Renown 1. It has Death Touch. The reason why I want to give it a shot, the Death Touch trample interaction. So if you're new, whenever you assign combat damage to a creature, you only have to assign lethal damage. So if something blocks this, and you Wildsize it and give it trample, it only has to assign 1 damage to the creature to kill it, and then everything else, quote unquote, tramples over to the opponent. So that's just something I wanted to give a shot. And then finally, only a 2 of, I mean, you can run 3, I just picked 2. Patron, the Valiant, to kind of, you know, sort of kind of break open stalls. Like, if all your guys are renowned, but for some reason you can't get through, this will, you know, give each guy with a counter another counter, which is also where the Timberland guide comes into play. So it doesn't have to be a renowned counter, it's any +1/+1 counter. So that's why we have the guides. I mean, sometimes, you know, if you think it's appropriate, you just put the counter on the guide himself if you plan on, you know, curbing into Patron. And then, you know, the Timberland guide will get another counter. And yeah, okay, there's one thing. The Sunblade Elf, he is a 1-drop, and we are playing, you know, green and plains. So, you know, his ability is kind of like the Patron of the Valiant's ability. I just think the Patron is a little bit better because, you know, you still get a 4/4 flyer out of the deal, which is, you know, pretty big in this format. But, you know, I can see, you know, maybe putting 1 elf in for, you know, 1 Patron, but I'd rather have the 4/4 flyer. I don't think you should run all 3 of these, even though, you know, you see green, you see white, and you're like, oh, I got to do it, but I don't really think you should. And so we're at 24 lands here. 11 plains, 8 forests, 2 Sunpetal, 1 value Rogue's Passage, and again 2 Evolving Wilds, so it's again kind of like running 23 lands. So pretty straightforward, like the Flyers deck. You just smash and face, doing combat math, bluffing wild sizes, playing around removal, and whatnot. Alright, so let's take this out for a spin. If we run into that blue-black control deck again, probably will be another case of do you have Languish? No? Then you're going to lose. But I actually think the blue-black control deck has a better chance of beating the green-white deck if it doesn't draw Languish than it does the blue-white Flyers deck. And again, this probably won't be something I play a lot. But I'm kind of just sticking with a format / theme. Again, just doing all the gold cards. I'm sure there's a better Selesnya build out there. I'm not disagreeing, but we're building around that particular Selesnya gold card. Did we make it? I think we made it. Oh no. That's the first time I got that error message. So yeah, so the last game, the Flyers game, I mean, still a little bit disappointed. But the fact that it went on that long still pretty good. I mean, we had so many live draws. I think, like, the Whirler Rogue would have beat his stupid flesh bag recursion engine. I mean, it's not stupid, it's a great engine. I'm just saying it would have beat that recursion engine easily, I think. And he would have had, you know, draw a displacement wave or another languish, you know, to get rid of those flyers. You know, you don't want to. I mean, when you start, you know, 1-from-1ing 1/1s, which, you know, he eventually was, you know, had to do, it's not good for him. We'll take this out for a spin of 3 games, and then we'll finish up with the... Oh, did I kill you? 007. No, you did not, Mr. Bond. We only have 1 play if we don't hit a land, so I'm not going to keep that. This sucks, but, I mean, it can't be that bad. I'm going to fetch for a forest. I might actually just double fetch and go into Knight the Pilgrim's Road rather than play Relic Seeker on turn 2. Depends on, you know, what my draws are. I mean, we have a couple draws to find out. And being on the draw kind of sucks. Abzan boys. Guys already playing 3-color decks when I highly doubt everyone solved the 2-color and the monocolored decks. So for the sake of mana, I mean, I still have a turn 2 play if I don't rip another land. Okay, so now this is a easy Relic Seeker. I imagine he's going to tap out for a Reeve Soul here. If he plays a blocker, we can bluff the Wildsize and get value. I'm actually not going to Wildsize that. It just seems like such a waste. I wonder what he's ramping into, though. He got another black, so maybe he's going to get Languish. Alright, Bone Splinters, that'll do. The thing is, I can't see how he scries, which kind of sucks. Oh my god, he's on the Mega Stack. He is on the super fat stack. So I think for the sake of a power level, do I play a Castellan or a Pilgrim? Is he going to play a 3-power guy next turn? So he plays a 2/2. This is easier. If he plays a 2/2, then I have to play Wildsize next turn to get through. Nah, let's just go for it. I mean, if we have to play Wildsize next turn, so be it. So now he has a 4th land. I mean, I probably should have played a Castellan, because when it gets Renowned, it's out of Languish range. So maybe that was a mistake. I didn't take that into account. I knew he drew the Swamp. I know I was talking about Languish, and I still neglected to play around it. So good for me. Nope, it's just Jagged Scar Archers. I don't think I want to blow a Languish to get through. I mean, a Wildsize to get through that. Okay, I mean, I'll make him have the Languish. If he does, it's a 2 for 2. So I can live with that. He trades his Languish and his Jagged Scar. What do I do if he goes Dwynen's Elite? What What do I do if he goes fucking Colossus? Or what do I do if he goes Flesh to Dust? Nothing. Just say, I lost my guy, I'm sad about that. Alright, he must really want that 1 damage. I don't understand why he's not... I guess, yeah, because that'll get out of Languish range, so he doesn't have it. I'm just doing this now so I don't forget. So I only got 2 cards left. Instead of playing the Veteran Sidearm and equipping here and then Troll, I think I'll just play Troll and leave up regen mana. I think that's much preferable. There's no sense in blowing this Wildsize yet. I mean, I know I could have guaranteed a card draw there, but like I said, I want to leave the regen mana up for the Troll, at least for this 1 turn. And then we'll go from there. Because I can actually still Wildsize next turn and have a Troll mana. Okay, Scarblade, that is something. Bone Splinters, please not targeting the Troll, but whatever. Alright, so his top deck wars, he's scrying, but he also has 10,000 cards in his deck, so I don't really know what his card quality's like. So we draw another Troll. Alright, again, in the interest of leaving open regen mana, I'm going to hold off on the Sidearm. Just want to get a bunch of dudes out there. And also something to note, I didn't go over in the deck tech, but a Wildsize will counter a Reef Soul since, you know, you get your dude above 3 power. Perilous Mirror is obnoxious. But you know, we have regeneration for that. Alright, so... let's equip. I want to get him Renowned. So even though I'm leaving a point of damage on the table, I want him to, you know, block here. And then we'll just regen. Okay, the regeneration shields are down. Again, I don't think that's a turn to blow Wildsize on. So we regen, but you know, we get the guy. I don't need to play out this land. So I mean, top deck Reef Soul sucks for that guy, but the other Troll is still good. Languish is still bad. We can counter... we can save 1 guy from Languish with the Wildsize if we get to untap. So we can Giant Growth that once, and I think we'll let him, and this will be the Wildsize turn. And if he doesn't do anything, actually, no, I don't even need the wild. I mean, if he blocks the 3/3, I'll Wildsize. If he blocks the 4/4, I won't. Alright. I'm actually gonna leave double white open, depending on what we draw. Just in case we draw Kytheon's Irregulars. I think we'll play the land here. Now let's leave regen mana open because we have lethal. Okay. So it's a good thing we left the regen mana open. Because now we have lethal because the Patron of Valiant will buff both those dudes. And we took down the Abzan removal fat stack with random elves. So there we go. Yeah, I can't believe we only drew 2 white that entire game. I said a Sunblade Elf would have done the same thing at that point in time. But I just think, you know, having the 4/4 flyer does so much more. So back up to whatever rank we were after we lost our second game. Back to 18. So it's 22 games, so 20-2. Sure. It's decent. I mean, he had a Shadows of the Past. I mean, I assume he was... I don't know what scry decisions he made. It doesn't show us top or bottom. That's the fucking stainless fuck up. So I can't really analyze his play too well there. Like, I imagine that Perilous Mirror he drew... I mean, we don't know if he just, you know, scried something to the bottom and then top decked that Perilous Mirror, or if he left that Perilous Mirror on top. But, you know, in the face of, you know, 2 Regenerators, that Mirrors ain't doing shit. Hey, isn't this what we're using? Is this the mirror? The Asian Renown Lady mirror? She is renowned for her manicuring skills. Is that racist? I guess. That's stereotyping. Stereotyping the same as racism? Whoa, this is like the straight up mirror. 18-18. His background's a little bit different. I mean, really, this is only we only have 2 plays. But I think this is okay. He's done? Alright, well, we're playing against his deck and not against him. So we're going to filter a land out. I'm actually going to lead with Troll over Freeblade. Because turn 3 I can just leave my mana open to threaten regen. I don't think he's going to be able to play a 3 power or a 3 toughness guy. Again, yeah, even if we drew Relic Seeker, even though we drew Relic Seeker there, I don't really think getting the Veteran's Blade is, you know, high on our list. So we can go turn 3 regen if he plays a blocker, but he doesn't. So that's good. So we get to Renown him. And against a green deck, I'm not going to leave open regen mana. The question is, I actually think the Relic Seeker is a little bit better here than the Freeblade, since the Relic Seeker technically does draw a card if we connect. Well, we'll see what the computer has for us. Okay, Jagged Scar, so that's actually really good for us. If the Seeker gets Renowned, ooh, that's a tough one. The Seeker gets Renowned. I actually won't play the equipment since I drew that Consul's Lieutenant. So, I mean, we do draw a card. The card we draw is always going to be Veteran's Sidearm. But I think this is an easy Lieutenant into Freeblade. And he realistically can only muster up 1 more blocker or have a Fog. Now he could have Dwynen's Elite or Dwynen herself. So I want to see what happens before I play this Patron. Actually, no. I don't need to play the Patron right now. I'm actually gonna offer up the Freeblade here. I mean, if he double blocks, he loses both guys to whichever one of my creatures he hits or double blocks. All right. So yes, we lose the Freeblade. I don't think that's a terrible loss. I'm gonna keep the sidearm on him right now because I like having the 3-power guy. And then we can Patron, that'll make these 4/4s. I mean, the Lieutenant's not Renowned, so I don't really get a bonus off that. And he's going to shoot our Veteran Sidearm, but that doesn't matter too much. You still can't block the Lieutenant because of the first strike. And we're 1 damage off lethal because he did that. So that's kind of funny. Let's just make sure our, actually, yeah, no, 1 damage off lethal. Whatever, but we got lethal next turn, easily. So that guy just wanted no part of the mirror. He could go Swamp Languish and I'll lose my mind. Okay. I mean, he still can go Swamp Languish. I mean, he gets Dwynen. Okay, Shaman of the Pack for 1. So he's on green-black elves. Sorry it didn't work out for you this time, buddy. I don't like Gather of the Pack at all with like no real graveyard synergy. It's like you're just trading a Gather the Pack for maybe a creature until you get Spell Mastery. Hey, look, we drew the Rogue's Passage, the Miser's Rogue Passage, but who cares? It don't matter. He could fog us, bro. Okay, so now that's Renowned. Everyone gets a buff. What up, G? What's up is my rank. Still Shaman. Alright, that was the second game, right? Alright, so one more with this straight up basic bitch deck. And then the Orzhov, with the Blood Curse Knight, whatever his name, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. And then the Rakdos deck, the Sack Steel, with some other elements, that'll be a little bit more interesting than the last 2 decks you guys have seen. But, like I said, we're I'm purposely hamstringing myself to just build around these 10 gold cards at the start. And then we'll start moving on to some other stuff. But I think also, if you're a beginner, if you're just starting out, like I think this is kind of a good lesson for you beginners. Like I said, we pick one card and we build around that card. And usually those gold cards already kind of sort of give you a theme. So hopefully, for you new guys, you're taking a little bit of notes. Hopefully you're learning some shit. I don't know. Alright, go Diego, go. Is that Dora the Explorer's brother? I mean, no 1-landers. 4 land, 3 4-drops. No, wait, no. Okay, actually, I can keep that. I'm gonna leave with the plains because we do run double white guys, the Consul's Lieutenant. So another thing to keep in mind. Oh no, he's mold of 5 on the draw. Kind of sucks. Yeah, no, I mean, no 2-drop, kind of shitty, but 3 into 4. 3 into 4 is acceptable. Alright, a sidearm. I mean, it's a turn 2 play. I mean, you always want to be the guy using your mana every turn. You don't want to be the guy not using your mana every turn. I mean, obviously, turn 1. Exceptions are made for turn 1. So actually, this sidearm will let our knight get through, which is good. Question is that what we want to do instead of playing a 4-drop? He has red. Yeah, I think we're gonna play the 4-drop here. Alright, so he's on... He's got all the D cards, so we're playing against D cards. This is where we're gonna need the Wildsize, boys. Okay, I think we're just gonna spend all our mana efficiently here. I do not want to trade a 3-drop for a 2-drop. Yeah, it looks like he's just on, you know, all the mini creatures. He's gonna have a hard time getting in to us. We're gonna have a little bit of a hard time getting into him. I don't really agree with that attack. I will gladly take one. Alright, so let's see, I can make this a 3-4, a 4-5. He can do 4 or 5 damage to it. I mean, if he wants to trade his whole fucking board, I will allow him to do that. So really, Relic Seeker is kind of not a dead draw, obviously, but just a kind of a worse Freeblade at this point. I mean, would Throwing Knife be better in this situation right now? Yeah, it would be. I mean, on 2 cards, after mulling to 5, if he wants to trade his whole board for this guy, and you know, if he wants to start chumping too, I'm fine with that. I mean, not his whole board, but you know, most of it. And you know, get his little recursion engine out of the way. I am okay with that. I mean, it ate up my whole turn, but I'll gladly spend, you know, 4 mana, you know, and I got another equipment into play to take out 3 guys, and one of them, you know, kind of a card advantage deal. And next turn... Okay, Twin Bolt. What? Okay. Go, Diego, go. I would not have blocked anyways. Okay, so now we get to draw a card of Valeron Wardens, because I don't think there's any black spell. Question is, even if I hit a land, it's not good. But if I do hit a land, I get to equip the second Sidearm. So yeah, I won't play the Wilds. Hope to hit a land, then I can, you know, like I said, you want to use your mana efficiently, especially in such a linear ass deck like this. Like, yeah, we're playing, you know, not really playing it's a real deck, quote unquote. But you know, just keep your fundamentals sharp. Okay, so we didn't hit it. We have double green, so we can still play 2 green spells in a turn. Yeah, the Mono Mirror. I'll probably just get another white, because, you know, we run Irregulars. Alright, so let's see. Make it a 2-4, a 3-5. He double blocks, and he just has to shoot everything at that Wardens to kill it, to prevent me from drawing a card. Actually, no, this is better. I don't want to play the Timberland guy because I don't have a follow-up. So he has to double block either of these guys to stop the nonsense. Or, you know, he loses both mirrors. He'll take out one guy. Which I'm fine with that. That works for me. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go 3-drop Just in case he has a mirror, I want the higher toughness guy. Perilous Mirror is good, but you know, it can be beat. I don't think a lot of people are saying it's an auto include, and a lot of people I think are mistaken. So, provided no nonsense occurs, we're gonna draw 2. Thanks to the Valeron Wardens. And then we'll see how we want to proceed from there with our mana. Alright, so we can go... We can go Knight. Timberland Guide. On Knight. And then... Sidearm on him. So none of those 3 guys can get shut down by a single Perilous Mirror. And it's lethal, boys. So there you go. I do think the sidearms there, if those would have been throwing knives, I still think the throwing knives would have been much worse. Still no change for 20. I guess the next milestone's 25. I don't know what the next milestone is. So 24 games now? Yeah, it's 24 games, 22-2. I think we're doing all right. But that's it for the green-white Renown. And stay tuned for the last 2 decks. Try and get that out today, tonight, hopefully. All right, Internet. Take care.